Begin with understanding the Macaulay duration. What is this Macaulay duration? How it helps the portfolio managers in tackling with the immunization strategy, and what is the relationship between the price and the interest rate of a bond. But before this, for remembering, or a tagline for Macaulay duration is average weighing time. Just you need to remember these three words and you will always remember the entire concept what we have studied. We will discuss later on. Now first, a choice is given to you between two bonds. The one is the 1 year maturity bond and the other is 10 years maturity bond. So when I will give you a choice that you have to choose between these two bonds, so you know that 1 year bond is more favorable as compared to this 10-year bond, because you know that the interest rate market circumstances might change and there might be the uncertainty. So when the time duration is less, the exposure is also less, and when the time duration is more, that is 10 years, 15 years, the exposure is greater. But what is this exposure in case of bond? That's the question. So this exposure is related with the interest rate which depends on the market, and this interest rate ultimately affects the price of that bond. How this happens, let's understand. There is inverse relationship. Now here you can see that the arrow is in red color. So when the interest rate rises, the price of that bond falls, and vice versa. But one may think that if interest rate is rising, that means more interest, then more money, then why the price falls. So let's look at this. You have purchased a bond worth rupees 1000 at 5% interest, which redemption is depend on the market value or the interest rate. So your interest payment is certain, but the uncertain is the redemption amount, which depends on the exposure. And what is this exposure? That is the interest rate exposure. Now what if after 6 months or 1 year there is another bond issue giving an interest rate of 7%? So do you think that anyone is going to purchase this bond that you have purchased at the rate of 5%? The answer is no, because he will not get 50 instead of 70. So what will happen? How to make your bond attractive? So what will happen? The price of this bond will be reduced, so as you are paying less price, and in that bond you are paying more price. So this will compensate the interest rate exposure. Now similarly, when the interest rate is 2%, so your bond becomes attractive and it will be in demand. So the price of this bond will increase. So there is inverse relationship between this. Now what is this average weighing time? It tells me that after what time period or the years or months I am going to recover the cost of bond, so that I know that after 4 years I am going to recover the cost, so that I can adjust according to this interest rate exposure. Now if I talk about this portfolio managers, they use the strategy known as immunization strategy. Now we will discuss this in detail in some other video, but let's have a look at how portfolio managers are using this strategy. So it is an investment strategy used to minimize the interest rate risk, that is the interest rate exposure, by adjusting the portfolio duration. Or I must say that due to this strategy, an investor is immune to the fluctuating interest rate. Now how to calculate this Macaulay duration, that is the average weighing time? So the formula is summation Wx divided by summation W, that is the formula is average weighing time. So X is what? The number of years, that is the time period. And what is W? That is the present value of cash flows discounted at yield to maturity. You can see this video also on YTM. That is the yield, the return that you will be getting from your bond. Now for example, the face value is 1000, the coupon rate. Now coupon rate, the important point to remember, it is always calculated on the face value or the par value, is 10%, and T, that is the time period, that is X, is 5 years, and yield to maturity is also 10%. So this is the situation that is given to us. Years, 5 years, the cash flow will be 100, 100, 100, 100, and in the 5th year, interest plus redemption amount. So this is the X, that is the time period. The second step is to calculate the present value of cash flows. So the calculation of present value of cash flows will be at the rate of return, that will be the yield rate, that is 10%. So calculating this gives me the present value of these cash flows. Now we need summation WX. So summation WX, this gives me, now we need to calculate. So the formula is summation WX, that is 4169, that is the total of column 4, divided by summation W, that is the total of present value of cash flows discounted at the rate of 10%, that is the yield percentage. That is divided by 1000. So it gives me 4.169 years. What does this mean? That after 4.169, holding this bond for 4.169 years, I will get what I have invested in. That is, I will able to recover. Now the answer is somewhat in points. So the duration, thank